Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 20, Sports on the Rocks podcast. We got a light crew tonight, just me and the boy Potts. Debo is incapacitated right now, so he's wish him speedy recovery. We'll just say that. But Potts and I are here to hold down the fort and give you guys a podcast. So Sunday night, let's let it rip, Potts. What do we got?
Excited. We got NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, spring game, massive, massive week for football being almost back. Almost back. NFL draft, so much fun. I love this time of year. Um, Very excited, ready to get it rolling. With that, let's dive into the NHL. We're going to put a bow on that. Playoffs started this weekend, Saturday, yesterday. We had Carolina taking the 1-0 series lead over Ottawa. And if you didn't see it, look it up. Opening game of the NHL playoffs, opening face-off, captains drop the gloves. Elite. Elite. It's what makes hockey great.
Yeah, I saw it on Sports Center. It was a good highlight for sure.
And they were chucking them. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
a friendly tussle
No,
to say the least.
no.
The best series of the opening round in the NHL, Minnesota Dallas, finished second and third respectively. And the way the NHL playoffs are set up, they meet each other in the first round, for better or worse. Um, Minnesota took a big 6-1 victory in Dallas. Huge. Stole home ice right off the rip. Unbelievable game by Jasper Wallstedt for Minnesota in that. Absolutely phenomenal. Um, and then to wrap up the night, Battle of Pennsylvania. Philly goes into Pittsburgh, takes the 1-0 series lead, and steals home ice. If you didn't have a chance to watch that game, watch the next one on Monday night. They hate each other, no love lost, plenty of fighting, hitting, um, absolutely phenomenal. Today, as we're recording, uh, we got Boston leading Buffalo 1-0 in game one. Buffalo had ownership of the longest playoff drought in the NHL. No longer. That belongs to our favorite Detroit Red Wings now. But they are down 1-0 to Boston. Colorado took a 1-0 series lead over LA this afternoon, and Montreal beats Tampa Bay in overtime to take the 1-0 series lead there um, and steal home ice as well. Utah and Vegas tonight, 10 p.m. Big Western Conference matchup. Um, Very, very interesting. A lot of good matchups in the NHL. The seeding's funky, it's hard to understand, but plenty of great matchups across the board. Moving on from hockey, NBA. And before I get into the NBA matchups, I owe Kody his flowers because his Warriors in the play-in knocked out my Clippers, who fell short once again. Um, So I will gladly hand those over to Kody for that. We got Steph Curried pretty hard in that one. So
Yeah, but
it is
it's
what it
not
is.
for not a whole. Doesn't do as much good. They just went because then they went and lost Friday night to Phoenix. So
Well, still hurts, sucks, but that's Steph Curry's greatness, and that was our own fault for setting us up with that matchup. So yesterday, the playoffs, the real deal, kicked off. Cleveland takes a 1-0 series lead over Toronto. Um, Denver takes a 1-0 series lead. They were my Western Conference pick. Big win over Minnesota. New York, Jalen Brunson and Cat went off. Took care of business at home. Took a 1-0 series lead over Atlanta. And the Lakers beat a Kevin Durant-less Houston Rockets. Um, right before game time, Durant was ruled out, and the Lakers took advantage. Um, Today, it continued with Boston annihilating the 76ers, who I will still say will eventually make this weird, but Debo has sent me with some quick thoughts on the 76ers Boston game today. Um, he wants everybody to know that the effort was shit. Not happy, very angry, not good enough, shit. So, congratulations, Celtics. They take a 1-0 series lead. OKC jumps all over Phoenix. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 25 points, but 15 of those 25 were from the free throw line. That's a separate conversation about the foul baiting thing, but they take a 1-0 series lead in that one. And Orlando goes into Detroit and beats the Pistons. 8 over a 1 seed. Um, Only visiting team to win. And it is the first time in 25 years that the 1 seed has lost their opening game and never held the lead once. I have talked about this at nauseum. Detroit set itself up for failure when they did not get a second score. Cade Cunningham, 39 points, did everything he could. Nobody else helped him. Orlando, all 5 starters in double figures. NHL, NBA, wrap up for you guys. Keep watching. It's a lot of fun. However, the biggest event this weekend was Saturday in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We had our very own in-house reporter for that one. What do we think, Kody?
Yeah, it was a great time. Took the fam, well, majority of the fam. The oldest daughter was not with us. She was with grandparents, but yeah, the rest of us went to the spring game, had a great old time. Always fun being in the big house. It was excited to see Bryce out there. He, I mean, to be completely honest, I mean, he had maybe one or two throws that were solid, but he had a lot of other just misses or instances where it just kind of made you scratch your head and just kind of felt very similar to last year. Um, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna blow any whistles or the sky's falling, nothing like that. I mean, it's still very early, but yeah, just didn't look as clean as kind of what we're looking for or hoping for. But outside of that, I will say Tommy Carr played he played pretty damn well. The kid looks just comfortable in the pocket. He looks decisive. He sees makes his read and slings it. And he had some good balls that should have been caught. There was a I made a POV video of basically the whole day and posted on socials, but you'll see in there's a couple throws that he had this dime right over the middle to Kendrick Bell, should have been a touchdown, but he dropped it. And I mean, it's just like stuff like that can't happen, especially when you got a kid delivering delivering dots like that. I mean, so he had some good throws. Celesi Moa, the freshman, had some good catches out there. They got the tight ends involved a lot. Didn't see a lot of JJ Buchanan. I don't think he played a whole lot. Same with Andrew Marsh. At least I didn't see him out there on the field a lot. But the other guys were getting some play, and tight ends were doing good. Um, Offensive line looked pretty good. Defensive line on both squads was solid, and they got after him. So defensive line was talked about being one of the stronger positions going into this season. So it kind of looked that way at the spring game. Didn't Hyder had a couple rushes. I think Marshall maybe had one pretty good one. But other than that, they had this Jonathan Brooks in there. He was doing good. O'Meara, he was doing good. Cudsdall had a couple. Um, so that looked good. Yeah, I mean it was just, it's a spring game, nothing crazy going on. But just always fun to be there. So like I said, yeah, me and the fam went there and moved around a little bit. She wanted to see wanted to see the top of the stadium, so we went to the top and got to hold her up and look over the edge of the stadium and then slide down all the poles all the way down to the bottom and the whole nine. But yeah, the kids were great and we hung out and then had dinner and came home. Just a quick 40-minute drive down the road back to Toledo and yeah, it was a good day. Good day.
What's one player that stood out on offense, defense, anybody maybe you didn't expect?
I mean, I feel like Tommy Carr is an easy one because he like I said he played well for what it is, but to go with somebody that I kind of didn't even have on the radar, I would go with the Jonathan Brooks, the running back. Yeah, he he had quite a few good runs out there. He kind of looked uh who do you remind me of? He kind of remind me of like Hassan Haskins. Like he kind of reminded me of that kind of running style, but yeah, he had a few good runs out there and yeah, he was not on my radar. So I would say that'd probably be my pick.
What relation to Lloyd is Tommy?
I believe it's grandson.
Okay, that makes sense. Now I got some questions on the spring game for you. Where are we at on the Underwood panic meter, 1 through 10? He had the built-in excuse, right? Last year, Sharon didn't give him any tools to succeed. Well, he's had tools this spring to kind of put something together, and this is pretty scripted, I'm sure, for him to showcase a little bit, kind of like a pro day-esque.
My panic meter would be maybe a two.
That low?
Yeah, it's early. It's early. It's still a whole new. First of all, he's an
It's
18-year-old
new
kid
for Tommy
still.
too.
He's
That's my
a
argument.
he's an 18-year-old kid. I mean, I'm just saying I'm not panicking yet. I want to see some game action. Give
Because
me
again,
two
I'm
give me two,
I'm
three
all
weeks
drama.
into the season and then we'll know
I-
something.
I'm all drama. So I wanted to ask you, based on everything I saw on Twitter, everything that like I saw online, how we go through the summer and he keeps doing that same shit and Tommy's playing well. How long is that leash? And because Tommy's getting all the same tools that Underwood had. Tommy goes out Saturday. There's not a negative thing about him online or in person. Underwood's getting killed.
But it's also because there's two way different expectations on both of them.
That's fair.
For Bryce, you're expecting him to be a all-star. You're expecting him to come in there competing for the Heisman, whereas Tommy Carr, you have literal zero expectations. So basically, any good play he does is like, holy shit, this is awesome. Versus on the flip side, it's like, you're just waiting for all the bad things that Bryce does to say, what the hell are you doing?
The only thing I would say is some of that is on Bryce because Bryce will also be the first one to tell you how awesome he is. Like when we played you guys in the bowl game, Bryce felt the need quite a few times to try to let Texas know how good he was after the play. And he seems like the kind of player to me outside looking in that all the talent is there, all of the different things you want are there. he's a lot of times his own worst enemy. All the talent in the world, I athleticism, everything. You can see it. Granted, I wish he wouldn't always throw 100 miles an hour, but I feel like sometimes he's just so caught in the moment that he skips over some fundamental stuff that would really elevate him to that elite status.
Yeah, I mean,
Outside
I
looking
can't.
in.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, fault you for it or disagree. I mean, that's how you view it, and I mean, that's fine. Um, I don't necessarily think I don't know that it necessarily like hurts him.
He gets happy. He gets happy and rifles that. And it's not just him, it's a lot of college quarterbacks. Sometimes a 75-mile-an-hour changeup is okay. It doesn't always have to hit 95 on the gun.
No, I feel you. I don't disagree either.
Because Arch had that problem too, where he was just trying so hard and just it took him a second to take a step back and layer it.
Well, yeah, I mean, regardless, it's usually second year quarterbacks make a good jump. So, like I said, it's all up to Bryce, but I'm not judging him off of a spring game, a
That's
half
fair.
of a spring game, not
How
even a
did
half, a quarter.
how did
He
Herbstreit look?
played one quarter. I mean, he didn't do anything special. I think he might have had a couple complete passes, but nothing crazy.
Nothing noteworthy from Kirk's boy.
No, not nothing that made the notepad. I'll say that. So,
That's fair enough. All right. Well, that's all I got for Michigan for you. I just wanted to grill you about Underwood.
no, that's fine.
The comments were not nice.
I honestly hadn't even gotten on to look at it.
But before we move on to NFL draft, very big announcement. I don't know if you saw the alert on your phone or not. Like and subscribe, comment, follow. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. One click, boom. Help your boys out. We appreciate it. Comment, interact with us, like, follow. We post every week. We love to hear from you. We want your feedback. We need your feedback. We're here for you. And we appreciate it. Now it's time for my favorite time, NFL draft. I love it. It's fun. It's chaotic. It's 3 days worth of enjoyment and nonstop news. It's NFL draft week. Already some big moves happening over the weekend, especially in our division. Me being an Eagles fan, you being a Cowboys fan. Being a Cowboys fan, you have 12 and 20 Thursday night. What does Jerry do?
Well, saying what Jerry will do, if anyone tells you what Jerry will do, they're lying to your face because Jerry don't even know what Jerry will do. Okay? And that's the biggest question mark about the Cowboys is Jerry could do any one of a billion things on some Thursday night, and God knows what that's going to be. But what Jerry should do is stay put at 12 and 20 and take the two best available defensive players on the board no matter what. That's it. That's Keep it simple. That's easy. I'm thinking in that range, looking at some of the mocks and stuff. I'm thinking defensive line, cornerback, maybe linebacker. Those one of those guys is going to be sitting there at 12. Something crazy might happen. I mean, they said there's no way CD Lamb was going to be there at what I'm pretty sure is 18. That the Cowboys drafted him at. I'd have to fact check that, but they said he wasn't going to be there. And then lo and behold, the Cowboys get at the pick, and they're like, "Shit, we don't even need a wide receiver." So they thought, or how their views were. But CeeDee Lamb was sitting there, and they're like, "Shit, let's grab this guy." I want this. I want something similar to happen at 12 on Thursday night, but just on defense. Some guy's going to fall through the cracks, and we need to pounce. I would love for it to be Bane, Edge from Miami. I know you and I talked about it a little bit, but I mean, I think he's just violent, and I like the way he plays. Um, if if that team down south, that I will not speak their name, if one of their guys are sticking around somehow, those top three guys, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, if one of those guys are sitting around at 12, I would take any one of them. Um, Cornerbacks, I don't really have any that I'm like in love with. I know everyone says the Tennessee guy is like a good get, but the injury
He's got
scares
knee
me.
problems.
Yeah, the injury,
That would
I
scare
don't
me.
like drafting guys that are already injured. Like sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. The last time we did it with Jalen Smith and it did not pan out. He panned out for like a season and then it was, downhill from there.
I was gonna say, as far as corners go for you guys, Mansour Delane, I mean, when in doubt, an LSU corner is not a bad way to go, no matter what his name is or how good he might have been in college. LSU corners tend to work.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably the top guy I would say on my list as far as cornerbacks go. I think he would probably be top of my list. But at 20, same thing, whatever the best available is. I feel like I've seen our shouts out UT, University of Toledo, the Rockets, their
McNeil
safety.
Warren is a
Yeah,
stud.
I've seen mocks of him being in that range, so I wouldn't be mad at that. You know, UT's been producing some safeties and some defensive backs. You can speak to that.
Quinion,
You can speak to that from experience. So I
yeah.
wouldn't be mad if we went something like that route. There's a whole lot of things that could happen. But like I said, and Jerry could do any one of a million of them, but I am really just hoping that he stays put, no messing around with these trades. Just stay put, draft the two best available defensive guys, and let's keep stacking this team.
So for the Cowboys, let me give you a hypothetical. Giants now own 5, 10. Commanders are at 7. Giants use 5 on Sonny Styles. Washington has a need in the secondary. The Giants have many needs in the secondary. If Jerry can package 12 and 20 to go to 6 to get downs and keep them from not only add him to your defense, but keep him from two division rivals, are you at least okay with that to go get a guy like Downs, who not only will be a 10-year starting safety for you, he'll probably captain and call the defense. And you just hired Christian Parker from my Eagles, which I hated because he's an absolute wizard with defensive backs. Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, who you alluded to. How does that scenario sit? Because there's multiple factors. You're not just trading up for a player at that point. You're trading up for a player, you're trading up to keep him from having to have him on the other side of your offense for the next 10 years.
I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down, and it's not the worst thing in the world. But let's just say let's just say your scenario versus my scenario happens as I see it. Let's say Ruben Bain slips a little bit, and he's sitting there at 12. Cowboys get Ruben Bain and then get the University of Toledo safety at 20. I would take I would take those two guys over Caleb Downs by himself.
My counter to that is I've told you privately, not on the podcast. I'm not a Ruben Bain guy, and simply because I think a lot of it is PTSD from Will Campbell, and we saw the downfalls of the short arms thing on his end. But the difference between the two players that you're talking about and Caleb Downs is that the two best players, the two just true best players in the draft, throw needs out the window, are pretty universally regarded as Jeremiah Love and Caleb Downs in whatever order. Just pure talent, pure football player. I trust me, if the Eagles were close enough, because we have a need at safety as well. If the Eagles were close enough, it would just cost too much for them to go do it. And honestly, it might not even. I haven't looked up Jimmy Johnson's trade chart in a while, but to go from 12 to 6, 20 might not even have to be on the table necessarily. If you attach a second or like whatever, you could get creative with it. Now, granted, we've also talked about many times Jerry isn't exactly super creative with what he, as a GM, purely as a GM, but I don't know that it would even cost you both 12 and 20 to go to 6 just from 12. It
So
would at least be a
you
conversation.
think Caleb Downs is going to go to Washington?
I think there's a chance. That's what I mean. Nobody
What
knows.
about the
But if
Giants?
Caleb, yeah, I mean, I would think so. If I'm the Giants and I can walk away from the draft with Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs, that's why I'm terrified heading into
Well,
that.
the Giants won't get both of them. I'm saying
Yes, they will.
no, they won't. What like whichever one they don't take is going to get drafted next.
By who?
The Giants. Like if the Giants take Caleb Downs, then
Nope.
Sonny Styles is going to get taken before they pick again at 10.
That's why they're going to take Sonny Styles at 5. Because Cleveland, if they stick and pick, I would say are going offensive line. The Commanders could go 5 different ways. The Saints have been pretty much tied to every receiver known to man. Kansas City's after an edge rusher, and then all of a sudden you're back at 10, and you're the Giants, and Downs is still sitting there.
But if he's the 1A or 1B best player in the draft, he's not making it that late no matter what.
I Jalen Carter got drafted 10th by the Eagles.
But he wasn't regarded as the consensus
Yes,
best
he
player of
was.
the
He
draft.
killed somebody. Well, sorry. I want to be very, very careful.
Whoa, whoa.
There was a vehicle incident in college that caused him to fall, and he's got some serious character stuff that
Yeah, he spits on people.
only after being spat on. But anyways, people fall all the
Spat in the
time for different
direction
reasons.
of. Spat in the direction of, not spat on or spat
Whatever
at.
you whatever you need to justify it. Um, but what I'm saying is people fall all the time for a million different reasons, and that's why I preface that Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs thing with just based on pure talent, throwing need out of the window. Like, of course, the Raiders, yeah, if you're drafting number one overall and you want the best player in the draft, yeah, pair it, Jeremiah Love with Ashton Genty and run the Georgia Tech fucking option offense. That'd be lit. Be a fun watch. They wouldn't win many games, but they have a need. So, in a pretty average at best quarterback class, they're going to take Mendoza, and we're going to find out real quick if it was more Signetti or if it was more Mendoza that carried Indiana. But
And what's your theory?
I just think this is very Rams taking Jared Goff number one overall. Good player, smart, will say everything right in the media, will do everything right in the community, will he's not generational. There's a ceiling on how far he'll probably take you. It doesn't really matter a whole lot because in their division, he's still the fourth best quarterback. I guess you could have a him Bo Nix argument if you really wanted to, but I don't necessarily see it moving the needle for Las Vegas. I just don't. Um, I think he's fine. I just he doesn't really get the blood going. I mean, you watched him a lot more than me, being a Big Ten fan, but I mean, I just he's an absolute gamer,
I wouldn't say he doesn't get the
but
blood going because he gets you amped up in just the way that he plays because
yeah,
he
but
lays
Kirk
it he
Cousins
lays it
also
all.
throws the diamond chain on and does the fun
But
videos on
I'm
the
just,
plane
but
with
I'm
the
just,
guy.
yeah, he does it in the plane and stuff. Mendoza does it on the field, like getting absolutely. I thought he might be dead by
Sonny
the
Styles.
Ohio, by Sonny Styles, and he just gets up and doesn't even take a play off, and I'm like, oh my God, this kid is a machine. And then against Miami, diving in there for the touchdown, just getting destroyed by both. God, they got him both sides, dude. Like he gets you amped up and he gets your blood flowing. He just he's not a generational talent by any stretch, but he has more heart than anybody.
Heart only gets you so far. Alex Smith had a lot of heart, and then they went
You're
out and drafted Mahomes, and now they have a bunch of rings.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just saying.
But so, Jerry, back to your
Okay.
cowboy.
So yeah, he needs to pick just the two best. And like I said, if you're saying Caleb Downs, yes, I wouldn't be mad if he got him, but I would prefer not to give up both 12 and 20 to get him.
Stick and pick.
Stick and pick.
Stick and pick. My
That's my
Eagles.
vote.
My Eagles. Like I alluded to, it terrifies me that both the Giants and the Cowboys have two first round picks. Um, and they both happen to have similar needs as us. So it kind of um, waters down a little bit on what I can hope for and expect to happen necessarily. We've been lucky in the past. We were lucky that Jalen Carter fell to us. We were lucky that Jordan Davis fell to us at 13. We were lucky the Lions, for some reason, thought Terrion Arnold was even in the same stratosphere as Quinyon Mitchell. Um, we got lucky that Cooper DeJean fell to the second round. We've just gotten lucky.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know that that necessarily happens this year. Um, the one guy that could fall back to Ruben Bain. If Ruben Bain, because we do have a edge rusher need, if Ruben Bain falls to 23, it's much different taking him there than at 12, in my eyes. There is a value gap there.
I'll say there's way more value for you to get him at 23 than 12. Yes, but he's mocked pretty much everywhere as a top 10 pick. So you're still getting
Yeah.
value at 12. It's
I
just
like Mesidor better.
it's just obviously at 23 it's double the value. But
Yeah, but I'm not banking on any awesome, oh wow, everyone else is stupid. Thank you again. I don't think that check is going to cash this year. Um, I also don't really see us making a play to go up. If anything, trading down if a run on offensive tackles happens and there's just the cupboard is bare. Um, and going back a few picks, maybe back into the early second. But um,
Do they have
if
any
we,
second round picks? Like, what do the rest of your
yeah.
guys' picks look like?
So we have a bunch. We have a first, a second, two thirds, two fourths, two fifths, and a sixth. So
Two. So you
we
have first,
have
second, two
ammunition
thirds,
if
two
we
fourths, two fifths.
yes. Um,
Yeah.
we have ammunition to do something if we need to, but I don't think there's a need to. Um, I would stick and pick as well if I'm Philly. Um, a kid I really like is the offensive tackle from Clemson, Blake Miller. Size, check. Feet, check. What I really like is the offensive tackle we draft will be Lane Johnson's heir apparent. We did the same thing with Jason Kelsey, where we drafted a year early in the first round um, to train that replacement, to give him the time to learn what he needs to learn from a Hall of Famer. It worked with Kelsey. Run that back. I would welcome any offensive tackle. And I only say that as a blanket statement because I trust that between the coaching staff and Lane Johnson himself, he'll be ready when it's time. I, but Blake Miller specifically is a name I'll throw out there. Over 700 snaps in college at right tackle. He also did have a little over 100 at left tackle. So in his rookie year, he could be that swing guy if he needed to get game reps. If not, he's plug and play year two at right tackle if Lane decides to hang it up. So that would just be something that I would look for as an Eagles fan. Other than that, we don't need help at corner. I would argue to the death that we have the best corner room in the NFL right now with Tariq Woolen, Quinyon, and Cooper and the DeJean in the slot. Um, however, God forbid somebody does get past them. I'm not sure who's there. Makuba is fantastic. He'll be one of the safeties. That's fine. We still need that second center fielder. Um, the kid from Toledo, put him with Quinyon. Just have a full rocket connection back there would be insane. So cool. Um, but I would just say kind of something similar to you where I just stick and pick, take best available. Um, if we go wide receiver for some reason, which the Eagles typically never do, it's very rare. Um, Cooper Jr. from Indiana is outstanding. Concepcion is an option. If we go edge, um, one of the Miami guys, if they happen to fall, Falk from Auburn is an option, but the production wasn't always there with him, so I don't know how that's going to be a pick based on potential more than production, which is always a coin flip. But same as you, man. Stick and pick, um, get better, and we got a lot of picks: a first, a second, two thirds, two fourths, two fifths. We have a very very big opportunity to make a difference in all rounds. So for me, it's pretty exciting. There are, for all of our other listeners, a lot of questions surrounding this draft. We know Mendoza goes one. That's been set in stone for 3 months now. The draft starts at two with the Jets, who, while the thought around the draft is we never know truly what is going to happen. If there was ever a team that embodied that, it would be the Jets. A couple years ago, Debo's Lions took Aiden Hutchinson after Jacksonville took Trayvon Walker from Georgia. The argument leading up to that draft was, do you take the potential and the athletic ability of Walker, or do you take the known production? You're always going to get 10 sacks, you're always going to get unreal effort. That's the Arvell Reese conundrum with David Bailey from Tech that the Jets find themselves in. I'm taking Bailey if I'm the Jets. The Jets aren't in position to me to take a swing like that because I don't think Aaron Glenn's job is that safe, even though he's only had 1 year. I just don't feel like it's super safe. I feel like you take the known commodity, you take the 10 sacks that come with it, and you just keep building your team. Is that kind of where you land as well on that?
Yeah, no, I would absolutely agree. And to me, David Bailey is just the proven talent, and I would just take him. I would take him over Arvell Reese. He to me just seems. It's just like it's like a. It just seems like a sure thing. I mean, there's no such thing as a sure thing, but he just seems like a sure thing. You know what I mean? So I honestly feel like David Bailey should be like just a number one overall type guy, but just the Raiders being in the situation they are, they have no choice but to take a quarterback. Um, so that's why we're in this situation. But other than that, yes, I think Bailey would be number two.
And I do think Arizona takes then whoever the Jets don't,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Those two are flip-flopped either way.
Yeah,
It's two and three are just one through three is decided. It's just
the order of it.
two and three are going to flip-flop.
Yeah. Then after that comes
Another
the
basically
the Jer-
guaranteed pick, I feel like.
you think it's guaranteed Jeremiah Love to Tennessee?
I think it's all but guaranteed Jeremiah Love to
I
Tennessee.
think I think it's the smart move. You give Cam Ward the example I'm going to use that I hate to use because I don't like them one bit is look at what a talent like Zeke did for Dak. Just as an example.
Yeah.
It makes their life
2016 went hard, bro. 2016 was fire with them two rookies, but yeah, no, I
it,
know what you're saying.
it makes a world of difference having that security blanket and Jeremiah Love can catch. He can do a lot more out of the backfield than just burst through the seam.
Just
It,
before we move on, I just want to give the update. This how you just give us this update, Potts, because we're both watching this game. Just give me your quick give the listeners what we're tune them in to what we've just witnessed here on the TV as we're
so
recording.
I alluded to it earlier. The Buffalo Sabres NHL playoffs. Buffalo Sabres previously owned the longest no playoff streak in the league at 11, I think it was 11 seasons of no playoffs. Home opener, game one, go down 0-2 to Boston. In the third period, score 4 goals and win 4-3. Absolutely insane. They got a sold out arena. They're showing about 500, 1,000 people outside of the arena, shirts off, going absolutely nuts. And if you've ever been to Buffalo, it's still freezing fucking cold there. They can't feel a thing. Just insane. It's why it's the best time of year. You got NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, NFL draft, baseball's going. This kind of stuff is what makes it great. So that's what we just witnessed live here with you guys. Great win by
The game
Buffalo.
was nuts. I mean, that third
You're not a
period.
hockey fan, and you are locked into this
Oh
thing.
my God, that I'm just sitting here. I'm trying not to stare too much at so people just see my freaking Adam's apple staring at you. But I mean, this game. That was nuts. That third period was wild. Like you said, they were down 2-0 when the third period started, and they came back 3 goals, went up 3-0, and then they Boston pulled their goalie, so they had an empty net, and they scored another, went 4-2, and then Boston scored one in the last minute, so they only lost 3-4. But still, I mean, that was just absolutely insane. Five
Everything you
goals,
love about sports.
yeah, 5 goals in the last period. Four of them, four of them from the team that was losing, and like you said, yeah, these are the times that we like to see. This is the good stuff
We
about
pray for times
sports.
like
We
this.
pray for this stuff, and it's you know it's not football season, but this kind of makes up for it. College basketball's done, football's done. We're getting into NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs, and it's a good little back and forth that we get to enjoy at the same time. We get a little bit of a benefit, and then it's just going to be some downtime until for the summer. Well,
But we
except
do have
baseball.
the
We got
Olympics.
baseball and the Olympics and the World.
What?
No, not the Olympics. We have
No,
the World Cup.
World Cup. That's what
We
I
have the
meant.
World
Yep.
Cup coming. We just had the Winter Olympics. We have the World Cup coming
Yep.
starting in June, I believe,
Yep.
which is going to be wild. But yeah, sorry, we had to interrupt, because that was some wild stuff going on. But back to the important stuff, the NFL draft. Take it, take it.
So if Jeremiah Love doesn't end up in Tennessee, that is my biggest fear. The Giants aren't smart enough to take him. They still have Joe Shane in the building, so they're not smart enough to take him. Cleveland has Judkins and all Samson from Tennessee that they took last year as well. My worst fear is he lands with Jaden Daniels in Washington. That would be horrifying because then the Giants would have two first round picks, the Cowboys would have two first round picks, and somehow the Commanders end up with freaking Jeremiah Love next to Jaden Daniels. That would actually scare the shit out of me as an Eagles fan.
Yeah, I don't.
That would
Yeah,
not be
I
fun
mean,
to deal with.
obviously I don't want that to happen. I don't know that that does happen though. I don't know that Washington is smart enough to take him either.
Really?
No,
I think with I think Dan Quinn calls the shots more than anybody, and I think Dan Quinn is smart enough to do it. The
I
rest
think
of the
he wants.
organization, that's fine.
I feel like he wants defense. Oh, we got a
Naturally,
fight
but he
going
also
on
wants to
already.
protect his biggest asset, which is
We got fights in the Vegas Utah game going on right now. Which, if nobody's seen, tune into this game at intermission so you can see the Mam Zamboni, the what's it called, Mammoth.
you will not see that tonight, sir. That is in Utah only.
Oh,
Game is in Vegas.
this is in Vegas, damn it.
My
What's it
happy place.
what's it called?
The man
The
the
Mamzoni?
Mamboni? No,
Mamboni? I don't know what
something
it's
like
called.
that.
But
But it is sweet.
it's a Zamboni that looks like a woolly mammoth. It looks sick.
I'd say tune in Thursday night to see Game 3 in Utah, but everyone's gonna be watching the draft. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that would scare me if Jeremiah Love ends up in Washington somehow. Um,
Speaking of, where are you going to be Thursday night for the first round?
I will be somewhere. What bar to be determined. Um, but I will be out watching the draft. Um,
Maybe some
man,
live tweeting, maybe some interacting
oh
with
yeah,
the fans,
oh yeah,
we'll be active on the socials.
yep, 1000%,
I'm gonna be out and about in Cleveland Thursday night, so
yep.
we'll be active. And the boys picked twice, so as of now, they're scheduled to pick twice. So I'm looking forward to Thursday night.
More big news involving the Giants, who we've touched on over the weekend. Dexter Lawrence straight up goes to Cincinnati for the 10th pick. I feel like I understand why the Giants did it. That does not mean I agree with it. Because Dexter Lawrence was the one true difference maker that defense had that was consistent.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have a couple nice edge rushers, but as far as consistency, always producing, always the best player on the field when he's on it. Dexter Lawrence for a kid you've never had in your building or on the field versus grown-ups. Okay, I'm a little confused by it, but for Cincinnati, I feel like this is an appeasement for Burrow. Hey, we're trying. We're throwing a dart.
But
Especially after not paying Trey Hendrickson, which they caught
but
a
that's
lot
what
of flack for.
but that's what I'm saying. It seems like they're kind of in the same situation as
Yeah,
Dallas, right? Like, okay, we're gonna let our all-star edge rusher go so we can turn around and do something crazy to get another defensive lineman. So it's like, for what?
in their division, I feel like it makes a little more sense to beef up the interior versus the edge, just because the back half of the season in the AFC North, it's a crapshoot whether you're playing in below zero and there's a foot of snow on the ground, and you need those guys in the true middle to just be animals versus Dallas, where in the back half of the season, you're either playing in your own dome. I mean, I guess if you have a late season game in New York or Philly or Washington, fine. But you do you know what I mean? Like the AFC North, it just feels like it dictates the middle more.
Hmm. I see what you're saying.
But it was still confusing, I feel like, for both sides. Like
Yeah,
you saw why maybe they both did it, but it was kind of like, did either one of you really get that much better?
yeah, agreed. But
Um,
that being said, the Giants have two picks in the top 10, which
yeah,
is
they have two
not
shots
not
to get it
not
right.
ideal for us.
No, no, especially if it plays out like I think it might. I have zero interest in them getting both Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs. That I think either way, I'm gonna have to see both. I would just prefer if they both weren't on the same team
I'd
because
say that makes sense.
you can game plan for one of them if you have to game plan against both of them. If they turn out how they're projected to turn out, it's a little bit different. But on top of that, what I wanted to touch on was this year's quarterback class. It's the most important position, and there's only one first round pick in there.
Or two?
Do you think Ty Simpson goes? Or is this a Shador Sanders thing where he's been built up like, oh yeah, he'll sneak into the back of the first round, somebody will trade back in for the fifth year option. And then I don't think he goes to day three, but we get to the middle of day two and then he finally goes.
There's a difference between Ty Simpson and Shador Sanders.
You can say that definitively with Ty Simpson having 1 year of starting.
No, I was just making a joke, you know. Yeah, I mean, the
I
I'm not
mean,
going to say he's better than him in any stretch of the imagination. All I'm going to say is Ty Simpson plays quarterback, and quarterback is the most important position. And there are more than there's more than one team out of the 32 that need or could use a quarterback on their roster. So I see at least two going in the first round.
who
And
who comes up?
I don't know, maybe
Arizona,
maybe Jets.
Arizona.
The Jets
Man,
have
who's in?
two picks, The Jets pick at number 2 and 16.
Yeah,
I
but do you
mean,
take Simpson at 16?
I mean, it doesn't matter to them.
Oh. I mean, Miami, I would say no, just because they I they supposedly believe in Malik Willis, but even he, then you would have two really inexperienced quarterbacks because Malik Willis doesn't have that many starts under his belt either.
I mean, Pittsburgh.
But they've done that before where they with Kenny Pickett at the back half of the first round, and that blew up in their face.
The Dolphins also have the 30th pick. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
from the
know.
Waddle trade, yeah.
I
That
don't
would make
know.
some sense.
I don't know. I'm just saying weirder things have happened. So I could see Ty Simpson going in the first round.
I'd rather take a flyer on Carson Beck in the third.
Yeah.
The more starts, the better. That's why Arch didn't come out this year. The more starts, the better.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Because if you wait a year, you have Arch, you have Lenore Sellers at South Carolina, Julian Sayin, Ohio State. If he takes the next step, I know, Michigan fan, I know, but he has tools that you would,
He is a tool.
well, personality aside, he can spin it. But it's just a widely regarded way better. I know,
He
I
can
know.
spin it, dude.
Julian Sayin can spin it. Now, granted, he's been gifted with a pretty legendary run in a row of wide receivers, but
I mean, seriously.
and not to mention they have Chris Henry Jr. now along with Jeremiah Smith. But either way, um,
Neither here nor there.
2027 is loaded. So if you're Arizona, do you get by with Jacoby Brissett for a year? That way you actually love, not like who you take. Same thing with the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
your
mean, I
first,
could see it. I could see it. I could see it. Jacoby came out and said he wants to be paid like a quarterback though, or a starter. So we'll see if what Arizona does with that.
yeah. I mean, they're not going to have a choice but to cave to that, and I think
Yeah.
Jacoby knows that because they just don't
Yeah.
have any other options.
Yeah, he has all the leverage right now.
Correct. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting, and I'm sure there'll be some trades too that, um,
That's what I'm saying. There's going to be some trades. Like that's that's the joy of draft night is nobody knows what's going to happen. I'm looking at these mock draft. I'm looking at two different mock drafts, and some of the picks are the same, but completely different routes to get there. And this guy's got these people making trades. This guy's got these people trading. So like, there's going to be some fun. There's going to be some stuff that happens. There is how many teams have two picks in the first round? Cowboys have two. So
Giants
Cowboys
have
have
two,
two, Giants have
Miami
two,
has three.
Miami Miami has three,
Yeah,
11.
Jets have two.
Hold on. Where does Miami have three?
I'm almost positive they have three.
No.
Oh no, this is a projected trade. The
Miami
mock draft
has
I'm reading it's a projected trade.
11. Yeah, Miami has 11 and 30. So okay, they still have two. Miami has two, Cleveland has two, Giants have two, Cowboys have two, Jets have two. Like a lot of teams have two first round picks, and that's not very common to have this many with two. So I mean, some crazy stuff could be happening come Thursday night, and I'm for it. I'm here. I am here for it. I love it. I love the chaos that is the first round of the NFL draft, Thursday night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and it obviously will give us a lot to touch on next week's podcast because again, the best part of all this is all of a sudden somebody's going to go to one of our teams and we're just going to be over the moon. Like, oh, perfect. We just went from 10 to 12 wins. We just went from, I don't know how the season's going to go at 8 and 9, 9 and 8 to, yeah, we're winning 11. We're getting in. Like, it's all going to change uh, back half of this week.
Agreed.
What'll, what would really change the outlook of our teams heading into next season is our question of the day. With the NFL draft being this week, if you could draft one player from your team's history to start next season for your Dallas Cowboys, who'd it be?
Oh boy, oh boy. I love the question, being that it is draft week. Tough question. I think I'm down. I think I'm down to two players, both of them on the defensive side. I am between DeMarcus Ware or Mr. Prime himself, Deion Sanders. Um, both outstanding players, two different but equal, but not equal, difficult, important positions. Which one do we need more? I've said all year we needed help on the defensive line. Our defensive, but at the same token, our defensive tackles have improved and we improved more already this offseason. I think as it stands, and if we're okay, do we just get this guy and we get to do the
Yeah,
draft?
yes. To add to your draft class, who are you adding to this year's draft class?
Because I mean, uh, I feel like, man, that makes it even a little more difficult because I feel like there's more cornerbacks kind of it. No, there's more defense. You know what? I'm taking Dion. I'm taking Dion because
Prime time.
he is prime time for a reason. He's a he is a just all he's an all-star. He's Deion Sanders and he's at a that's a prime position. We could have lockdown on the corner if freaking Deron Bland could stay healthy, that would be insane. And I think we could rely on what the Cowboys have done so far on the defensive line and use the draft to further improve the defensive line. So give me Dion. What say you, Drew? Anybody in Eagles history to come back and help out the squad this year, who we calling up?
I actually struggled with this more than I thought I was going to, because I could go to any of the three phases. Jake Elliott struggled last year. A lot of games come down to the kicking game. I could I could say David Akers, and I'd feel comfortable with it. Um, I could go offense and say, okay, AJ, you want to leave? Deshaun Jackson, come on down.
Or
Uh,
T.O.
I could go TO, but we have enough personality in the locker room. I don't need to replace AJ Brown with Terrell Owens. That'd be a like for like. Um, but my focus is on the defense, so I'm trying to decide between Brian Dawkins and Reggie White, and I'm gonna go Brian Dawkins. I think we can get enough of a pass rush where I can look at safety and say, I need one of the greatest of all time leading my defense. And Brian Dawkins was just a different human being, not just player. And he would straighten out, I think, a lot of our issues. Obviously, Jason Kelsey crossed my mind, but for the sake of his back, Can't even stand up straight anymore. Um, I'm gonna go with Weapon X, Brian Dawkins. Lead that defense, solidify the defense, call the defense. And I think that would be huge too with us losing Christian Parker to you guys as a coach. Um, some of the things he's able to do just intellectually, not just playmaking. So give me Brian Dawkins. Um, I'll speak for Debo on this one. Um, any offensive tackle in the history of the organization, I think he would be comfortable going with. Um, prime Darius Slay would help him a lot out at corner. Um, and if he had to pick a special teamer, I think he might have an argument for Hansen like I did Akers. Games are won on the leg of a kicker. Um, obviously, that doesn't apply to you because you have the best one in the league that can kick from anywhere, including 70. But for us, I think Akers and Hansen are both a shout. Um, but yeah, so draft week, very interesting. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go Brian Dawkins.
I like it. So give us a comment. Let us know who you would choose for your team. You could pick any guy, any person, in the history of your team. Who would you pick to come help the squad out this season? Give us a comment. Let us know what you think. Give us a like on this video if you're going to be watching the draft this weekend. Just give us a like. But I think that's going to do it for us on this episode of Sports on the Rocks. We miss you, Debo. We thank you all for tuning in, listening, watching. Continue to interact with us. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't already. Give us a follow on the other socials at SOTR underscore pod guys across the board. Interact with us, like, follow, comment, subscribe, all the above. But until next time, peace.
Adios.